श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम् श्रीशैलाभिजनाम्बुराशिषं श्रीकृष्णतातात्मजं श्रीशैलान्वयदेवनाथसुधयप्राप्तागमान् तद्वयं पादाब्जै नरसिंहताते गुरोर्न्यस्तात्मरक्षाभरं विद्वद्वन्द्वचकोरचन्दिरमहं रामानुजार्यं श्रये श्रीरङ्गसुधामधुसमास्वादयन्तं श्रीरङ्गमहिषी पदपङ्कजात्मजं सुलभाश्रयं सदा मोदसिद्धमद्भुतं भजेऽहं गुरुं तं रङ्गनाथप्रियं सुखासनस्थं हृदयाब्जपीठे चिन्मुद्रयालङ्कृतपाणिपद्मं शुभोपवीतं विमलोर्ध्वपुण्ड्रं नमामि रङ्गं गुरुं अन्तरङ्गे नमामि योगसम्राज्ञीं विजयां विजयप्रदां श्रीरङ्गार्धासनासीनां करुणां मातरं गुरुरूपपरञ्ज्योतिः ज्योतिरूपगुरुः परः अज्ञानमन्दिरं ह्येतत् गुरुविज्ञानमन्दिरं मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयिते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः सकृदेव प्रपन्नाय तवास्मीति च याचते अभयं सर्वभूतेभ्यः ददाम्येतद्व्रतं मम मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदः प्राचेतसादासीत् साक्षाद् रामायणात्मना. With salutations to our Guru and the Guru of all Gurus, will commence our session today. We were in the 43rd Sargam, 16th Slokam, 15th Slokam we had concluded, I think. And it's called Chaitya Prasadaha. We'll continue with this sequence of events where Hanuman is essentially demonstrating his true power, which he had unlocked all the way up to Sundara Kandam. He had never shown his power before this, Kandam. And as if one has acquired powers for the first time, like a child, you want to demonstrate whatever abilities you have to the fullest extent, just like a child when it learns to crawl, a baby, it will try to crawl all through the day, isn't it? It will try to crawl to the left, to the right. Or when a child tries to walk for the first time, it will try to show its walking ability in all directions. In a similar manner, Hanuman is going to demonstrate, in fact, he is going to experiment all the siddhis that he has. Basically, it is meant to entertain all of us. So we'll probably go through this in a little bit of the next gear as possible. So Chaitya Prasada Dahaha, after killing all the 80,000 Kinkaras, Hanuman turns his mind towards destroying the sort of temple tower or the palace, which was really beautiful and close to Ashokavanam. It is Chaitya Prasadam. And right now he is at a point where Parikshipya Ajagnur Vanara Sreshtam Banesh Chaditya Sannivaihi Avartaiva Gangaya Stoyasya Vipulo Mahan. There were about 100 Rakshasas who were there in the Chaitya Prasada, and they started to attack Hanuman. And it looked like a small whirlpool in the Ganga. Okay, so Hanuman was surrounded by these 100 people. Parikshipya Harisreshtam Sababahu Rakshasam Ganaha Tato Vatatmaja Kruddho Bhima Rupam Samastitaha. प्रासादस्य महान्तस्य स्तम्भं हेम परिष्कृतम् उत्पाटयित्वा वेगेन हनुमान् पवनात्मजः ततस्तं भ्रामयामास शतधारं महाबलः. So what the infuriated Hanuman did at that point of time is there is a pillar which is essentially decked with gold and all that we have seen its description. And this is a Shatadharam, 100-edged pillar. And Hanuman essentially uprooted this pillar and he started to whirl it around. That is what it says. तत्र चाग्निः समभवते प्रासादश्चाप्यदह्यत दह्यमानं ततो दृष्ट्वा प्रासादं हरियूथपः स राक्षसशतं हत्वा वज्रेणेन्द्रैवासुरान् अन्तरिक्षे स्थितः श्रीमान् idam vachanam abravite. Because of the speed, there's a little bit of kinetic energy here. He started to spin the pillar at a certain velocity. And in the process, it started to touch various other elements there, the other stone-based architecture that Hanuman was actually in touch with. And that generated fire instantaneously. And this was already decked with gold. So he used the laws of physics. And the whole place there essentially started to, it was set afire, basically. And he saw the palace burning instantaneously there. Because of that, all the 100 Rakshasasatam, Hatva, in a manner similar to Indra, and the way Indra destroys Asuras, Hanuman destroyed all those 100 Rakshasas instantaneously. And he sort of flew to the skies. Antarikshe sthita Shriman. Idam, this is what he mentioned. Idam vachanam abravite. Madrishanam sahasrani visrishtani mahatmanam. Balinam vanarendranam Shugriva vasavartinam Atanti vasudham kritsnam Vayamanye cha vanaraha. So in the previous chapter, we had seen how Hanuman repeated 4 slokas that were essentially proclaiming victory to Rama, Lakshmana, Sugriva, and the fact that Hanuman is not going to return without pleasing Sita Mata and doing Abhivadanam to her. Isn't it? Those were the 4 slokas he would constantly repeat. And he would say that we will decimate Ravana and Lankapuri will not exist anymore. That is what he used to repeat. But right now he is saying, oh Rakshasas, there are hundreds of Vanaras who are similar to me. We are all waiting to come and destroy you. They are all equal to me in terms of power. So imagine the kind of sense of fear fear and anxiety that Hanuman is generating from this point onwards in Ravana and all his ministers, etc. And we are all loyal to King Sugriva. Sugriva Vashavartinam. And he has given us very clear orders that, we are supposed to come here and destroy all of you. And we are all roaming around in a different part of the world. Dashanaga balah kechite, kechit dashagunottaraha, kechinnaga sahasrasya, babhuvastulya vikramaha, santi chauga balaha kechite, kechid vayu balopamaha, aprameya balaschanye, tatrasan haryutapaha. There are several young monkeys and the youth அப்படிங்கிறோம் இல்லையா அந்த சம்ஸ்கிருதத்திலே இருக்கு பாருங்க யூத்தபாக அப்படின்னு இருக்கு. Many of them they exist and they wander about very freely. Oh ignorant demons, right? You have not seen many of them. Some of them have the balam of 10 elephants. Sorry. Some have 100 times the power of elephants. Some have 1,000 times the power of elephants. So அப்படியே அந்த டெமன்ஸ்லாம் அப்படியே அப்படியே பார்த்துட்டு they would simply be astonished. And some of them have the power of great floods. We are hearing about the most devastated parts of Himachal Pradesh when there is flash floods. You have seen the fury of those floods. We don't know, within a matter of minutes, the entire area, there's a cloud burst. There will be a landslide followed by floods and வீடெல்லாம் அப்படியே விழுந்துடும். அந்த மாதிரி அந்த பவர் இருக்கு. அவுகபலாஹா கேச்சித் வாயு பலோபமாஹா. They have the power of the wind god. And aprameya balaschanye, their power is immeasurable. Okay. So this is how he is generating anxiety in them. Idrikvidhaistu haribhihi vrto dantanakhaidaihi shatay shatasahasraischa kotibhir ayutairapi agamishyati sugrivaha sarvesham vonishodanaha. So in a manner that I just explained, Hanuman is telling this. There are hundreds and thousands and crores, hundreds of thousands and crores of Vanaras who are ready to come to this side. And Dantanakhaidaihi, they also have fantastic weapons in the form of teeth and nails. Sugriva is going to come here along with all of them. Keep this in mind. Neyamasti puri lanka. Thank you. Nayuyam nacharavanaha yasmadikshvakunathena baddham vairam mahatmana. You have all done cardinal sin. So, so to say, you have established enmity with none other than Ikshvakunatha, who is Lord Ramachandra. That is enough to cause, a sense of anger in Sugriva. And he is going to come and completely destroy this Puri Lanka. It is not going to exist. Nor any of you, nor even your boss. So, this is the message that Hanuman gives after destroying the Chaitya Prasadam. It's like a brief speech he gives. அப்படி இப்படி போய் ஒரு அடி அடிச்சுட்டு ஒரு 100 பேரை கொண்டுட்டு ஒரு ஸ்பீச் கொடுக்குறாரு. மறுபடியும் ஒரு 1000 பேர் அடிச்சுட்டு ஒரு ஸ்பீச் கொடுக்குறாரு. ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் தி டெக்னாலஜி ஆர் framework he is using to generate that sense of fear and anticipation in the Rakshasas. Ityarshe Srimad Ramayana Valmiki Adikavye Chaturvimshatishrikayam Samhitayam Sundarakande Chaitya Prasadadaho Nama Trichatvarimshas Sargaha. We now go into the 44th Sargam. Luckily, there are no kids here. There is a lot of animated descriptions of how he is going to kill the Rakshasas. We will just skim through all of them. Jambumali Vadha.
ஒரு question.
Yes.
இங்க வைரம் ஆத்மனான வைரம் சொல்றது சீதா மாதா சொல்றாரு. வைரம்ங்கிறது
Baddham Vairam. இல்ல வைரம்னா is enmity ன்னு அர்த்தம், animosity ன்னு அர்த்தம். That's called Vairam.
டைமண்ட் இல்ல. ஓகே.
இல்ல. Baddham Vairam Mahatmana. நீங்களாம் கங்கணம் கட்டின்னு இருக்கீங்கோ, that you are going to kill Rama and Lakshmana. So that is something which is not good for you அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. வேற ஏதாவது questions இருக்கா யாருக்கான? Any comments? No. அதாவது first 80,000, அதுக்கப்புறம் 100 இல்லையா? So the number is dwindling. In the sense, Ravana is going to look at other strategies now. Okay, so he tried to do with numbers. Now he is going to look at sending more powerful people in his retinue. Sandishto Rakshasendrena Prahastasya Suto Bali Jambumali Mahadamstro Nirjagama Dhanurdharaha Raktamalyambaradharaha Sragvi Ruchirakundalaha Mahan Vivirtanayanaha Chandaha Samaradurchayaha Dhanushakra Dhanu Prakhyam Mahadruchirasayakam Visparayano Vegena Vajrashani Samaswanam. So commanded by the Devan king Ravanasura. So there is this son of Prahasta who is known as Jambumali. Okay. And he is kind of invincible. That's what it says. Jambumali, and he is a Mahadamshtraha. He had large teeth in his face. Dhanurdharaha, and he is sporting red flower garland, red robes. இதெல்லாம் நம்ம ராமாயணம் இதில் பார்த்துருப்போம் இல்லையா? They are typically wearing all bright colors or dark black color robes. And he was also wearing some beautiful earrings. And what was he doing? So he is now களத்தில் இறங்கியிருக்கான் ஜம்புமாலிங்கிறவன். So he went around, he was pulling the dhanus, okay, twanging the dhanus, which produced thunderous sounds. Vajra, Ashani, Samas, Swanam. Swanamna sound. He was creating a noise with his dhanus. And he also had different arrows in his quiver, which he is now starting to use against Hanuman. Tasya vispara ghoshena dhanusho mahatadishah pradishascha nabhaschaiva sahasa samapuryata. So all the directions, including the intermediate directions, okay, vispara ghoshena dishaha pradishascha nabhaschaiva sahasa samapuryata. So the entire atmosphere was filled with the loud sound of twanging of his dhanus. Rathena kharayuktena tamagatamudikshasaha Hanuman vega sampanno jaharshacha nanadacha tam torana vikatastham Hanumantam mahakapim Jambumali mahabahu vivyadhanishitaisharaihi. So this gentleman, he is, who is his name? What is his name? Jambumali. அவனுடைய சேரியட்டுக்கு என்ன யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கான் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தாக்கா, he didn't have horses. He had kharas. Kharasனாக்கா donkeysன்னு அர்த்தம். Okay. I wonder how he had that idea. Perhaps that was his pet animal. And what else can a tamasic person have as his animal? இல்லையா? கரயுக்தேன அவன் இருக்கார் சேரியட்ல. அதை பார்த்துட்டு ஹனுமான் வேக சம்பன்னஹ ஜஹர்ஷச்ச நனாதச்ச. ஹனுமான் himself, he felt glad. Okay, வரான இவனை கொஸ்டின் மாதிரி அமுக்கிடும் அப்படின்ட்டு. Hanuman also made a loud noise. But this fellow, Jambumali, he started to attack Hanuman with very pointed arrows that he had, very sharp arrows that he had. Okay. Ardhachandrena vadane shirasyekeන karnina bahor vivyadhanarachaihi dashabhistam kapishwaram tasya tachhushube tamram sharenabhihatam mukham sharadi vambujam phullam vidham bhaskara rashmina. The interesting descriptions here. Mahabahu Jambumali Torana Vikatastham Mahakapim. So we should all remember Hanuman is still in Ashokavanam near the archway. And the Thoranthukittu தான் இருக்கார். இன்னும் அங்கேருந்து கிளம்பல. அங்கேருந்தே கூட்டிருக்கார். He is inviting all the Rakshasas to Ashokavanam. In other words, it's a nice strategy. Hanuman did not go to Ravana's main palace. Right? He's like the Pied Piper of Hamelin Madri. He is inviting all the rats, all the Rakshasas towards himself. That is to be noted here. And this person, Jambumali, started to attack there. Okay. Ardhachandrena vadane ekena karnina shirasi dashabhihi narachaihi bahotam kapishram vivyadha. He started to release the crescent shaped arrow. அதெல்லாம் பார்த்துருக்கோம் நம்ம இல்லையா? I even forget whose Ramayana was it? Ramanand Sagar's Ramayana. So you'll see different types of arrows coming. Just rewind your memories. One arrow becomes 10, 10 becomes 100. அது அப்படியே ஒரு 2 minutes காட்டுவா. நம்மள அதை பார்த்துட்டே ஜாலியாக காஃபி சாப்பிட்டுருக்கோம். Jambumali, he released those crescent-shaped arrows. And there was also one ear-shaped arrow on the head. And 10 iron arrows. Okay. Nara Chaihi, Dashabihi. And he hit all of that into the arms of Lord Hanuman. So Hanuman is a very tall and big figure at that point of time. So Jambumali அடிச்சிருக்கான். And because of that, what happened அப்படிங்கிறது இங்க டிஸ்கிரைப் பண்றா. ஷரேன அபியதம் தாமிரம் தத்முகம். So his red face stuck by an arrow. So Hanuman's face also got stuck with an arrow. It appeared like a full-blown lotus in autumn season அப்படிங்கிறார் கவி இங்க. அங்க கூட அனுமானுடைய அழகை இங்க சொல்றார். Hit by the rays of the sun. Sharadi Vambujam Pullam. So this is like explaining the beauty of Lord Hanuman there. Tattasya raktam raktena ranjitam shushubhe mukham yatha kashe mahapadmam siktam chandana bindhubhi. His red face was stained with blood. But he probably would be relishing or enjoying. Okay, Hanuman. And it was glowing bright like the red lotus in the sky. Chandana bindubihi siktam, just like it is sprinkled with drops of red sandal. Okay. Chukopa bana bhihataha rakshasasya mahakapihi tatah parshveti vipulam dadarsha mahatim shilam tarasatam samutpatya chikshepa balavad bali tam sharair dashabhi kruddhaha tadayamasa rakshasaha. So Hanuman continuously release பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கான். Jambumali is releasing a series of arrows at Lord Hanuman. And what did Hanuman do? He பார்த்தார். He happened to see a huge and heavy rock there. Dadarsha Mahatim Shilam lying beside on the ground. So அவருக்கு ஆயுதம்லாம் whatever nature has provided, okay, is his ஆயுதம் there. And he started to destroy the palaces, etc. அதுலயே நிறைய ஆயுதம் இருக்கும். வேற எங்கேயும் he doesn't have to invent any weapons there. And with powerful Hanuman, what did he do? Balavati Bali, with all the vehemence, he lifted the rock. And what did he do? Tam sharaihi dashabihi kruttaha tadayamasa Rakshasan Tarasatam Samutpatya. So he hurled it at the giant. Again, ஒரு pillar எடுத்தார். It looked like lifting a small stone for Hanuman. And he basically dropped it on top of the demon there, Jambumali. Vipannam kanma tadrishtva Hanuman's Chanda Vikramaha Salam Vipulamutpatya Brahmayamasa Viryavane Brahmayantam Kapim Drishtva Salavriksham Mahabalam Chikshepasu Bahun Banane Jambumali Mahabalaha. So at that point, Jambumali tried to escape from that place. Therefore, Hanuman, once again, he uprooted a Salavriksham that was there nearby. Okay, you should imagine, Hanuman is like, அப்படி பார்த்துட்டே இருக்காரு. என்ன அடுத்த ஆப்ஜெக்ட் எதை எடுத்து போடலான்ட்டு இவனும் தப்பிச்சு போயிட்டே இருக்கான். ஸோ he once again he whirled the Salavriksham, seeing that his earlier attempt has failed. Okay. And Jambumali also is apparently a gigantic figure there. So he saw the mighty Hanuman who was whirling this Salavriksham. Salam chaturbhi chichcheda vanaram panchabirbhuje shirasyekena banena dashabhistustanantare sasharai puritatanuhu krodhena mahatavrataha tameva parigham grihya bhramayamasa vegataha. Act 2, Scene 3. என்ன ஆறுதுங்க? So this Jambumali, he stuck that Salavriksam with a certain number of arrows. Okay, these are all slightly more powerful people than the Kinkaras or the Rakshasas who were there in Chaitya Prasadam. Okay, Hanuman is now estimating the power of the remainder of Ravana's army. What did this guy do? So he shot 5 arrows, Panchabihi Bhuje, 5 arrows onto Hanuman's shoulders. Then Uras Yekene, Oru Banata Tukki, he aimed at Hanuman's chest. And the hollow of the chest, Dashabhistu Stanantare. So 10 more arrows he shot at Hanuman right in the middle of his chest. And what would Hanuman have done? He was extremely angered by this. His whole body is sort of filled with arrows now. இங்க ஒரு 5 arrow, இங்க ஒன்று, அப்புறம் இங்க 10. And he immediately seized an iron spear. That's what he did. With this a spear which he had earlier on used in the battle. That's what it says. Tameva parigham grihya brahmayamasa vegitaha. So he spun it around with intense anger. अतिवेगातिवेगेन भ्रामयित्वा बलोत्कटः परिघं पातयामास जम्बुमालेर्महोरसी तस्य चैव शिरो नास्ति न बाहु न च जानुनी न धनुर्न रथो न अश्वः तत्र दृश्यन्तने शवः. அவ்வளவுதான். So with this act, basically he spun around the spear, very heavy one. And he would be spinning, and this Jambumali would be basically observing Hanuman doing that. He directed it towards Jambumali's heart, and he killed him. And with that process, basically, neither his head nor his arms, knees, bow, ellam pichi pichi pattar. He tore Jambumali into pieces. His ratham was not to be seen. Neither were all the donkeys. Nothing was seen at that place, as if nothing happened. That is how Hanuman would have killed Jambumali there. Sahatastarasatena Jambumali Mahabalaha Papata Nihato Bhumo Churnitanga Vibhushanaha Jambumalincha Nihatam Kinkarascha Mahabalane Chukrodha Ravana Shrutva Kopasamraktalochanaha. So the news went to Ravana that Jambumali, the great Mahabalaha, has also been killed, and he has fallen on the ground. Churnitanga Vibhushana, his whole body is kind of powdered. So Ravana heard that Jambumali and also the Kinkaras have all been killed. And what else he would have become at that point of time? So he had bloodshot eyes, Kopa Samrakta Lochanaha, and he was also filled with anger, Chukrodha. Sarosha Samvartita Tamralochanaha Prahasta Putre Nihate Mahabale Amatya Putran Ativirya Vikramane Samadhi Deshasu Nishachareshwaraha. So the Nishachareshwaraha, that is Ravana, when he heard that the mighty son of Prahasta, which is Jambumali, has been killed, he commanded the others there, all the sons of ministers who were around, and they were all highly valiant people. Amatya Putran Ativirya Vikraman. Right? And ordered them to go and catch hold of Hanuman. Tyarse Srimad Ramayane Valmiki Adikavye Chaturvimshati Sahasrikayam Samhitayam Sundara Kande Jambumali Vadho Nama Chatuschatvarimshas Sargaha. We'll move on to the next sargam, which is Amatya Putra Vadaha. So this is a series now. The next set of people who are going to be killed are the sons of the ministers of Ravana. Tataste Rakshasendrena Chodita Mantrinam Sutaha Niryayur Bhavanat Tasmate सप्त सप्तार्चिवर्चसः महाबलपरिवारा धनुष्मन्तो महाबलाः कृतास्त्रास्त्रविदां श्रेष्ठाः परस्परजयेशिनः हेमजालपरिक्षिप्तैः ध्वजवद्भिः पताकिभिः निर्घोषैः वाजियुक्तैर्महारथैः तप्तकाञ्चनचित्राणि चापान्यमितविक्रमाः विस्फारयन्तः संहृष्टाः तटित्वन्तैवाम्बुदाः. This is essentially a description of how the sons of the ministers started to march towards the battlefield, which is still the Ashokavanam. So the 7 sons of the ministers there, they were blazing like fire. Saptarchi Varchasaha. Okay. And they were followed by a large army of experts, Mahabala Parivaraha. And they are all extremely proficient in archery. They had great valor. Dhanushmantaha, Mahabalaha, Kritastraha, Astravidam, Sreshtaha, the foremost among people who could wield any kind of weapons. இதெல்லாம் கேட்டாலே பயமாயிடும். ஆனால் ஹனுமானுக்கு அந்த பயமே கிடையாது. He is waiting to see this kind of information. He is collecting the so-called knowledge and skill inventory database. எல்லா job description ரெடி பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கார். Okay, each they were all very happy, in fact, to be able to fight. They were all samhrishtaha. They are gladly directed by their chief, who is Ravana Choditaha. Tapta Kanchana Chitrani Chapani Vishparayantaha. The kind of weapons that they had were all encrusted with gold. And they started to drive their chariots. Hema Jala Parikshiptaihi Dvajavadbihi Patakibihi. Their horses this time, their chariots were yoked with horses, not donkeys. And the donkeys themselves were decked with golden mesh. And there are various kinds of dhvajam or staffs that they were holding. And the horses were neighing like the clouds. Horses neigh, isn't it? And toyadasva nirghoshavihi vajiyuktaihi maharataihi tasmat bhavanati niryayu. So they started to leave their respective apartments. Okay, you can imagine that their ladies would have given the tika and said, now go and fight Hanuman. They're all leaving their respective places and assembling on the main street and marching towards Ashokvanam. Janayansu tatastesham viditva kinkaran hatane babhuvuhu shoka sambhrantaha sabandhavasu suhurjanaha. Their mothers and relatives and all of their friends, they were actually struck with grief when they learnt about Kinkaras being killed, Kinkaras having been killed by Hanuman. Te paraspara sangharshaha tapta kanchana bhushanaha abhipetur hanumantam torane samavastitam. So these gentlemen, the sons of all the ministers, they were also wearing all kinds of golden ornaments. And they went to attack Hanuman, who was in front of the Toranam there. Torane samavasthitam. Srijanto bana vrishtim te tatha garchita niswanaha vrishtimanta ivam bhoda vicherurnairtambudaha. So they went roaring towards Hanuman with their chariots, making all kinds of sound. Ratha garjita niswanaha and nairatambudaha. So there's a cloud of demons, basically. They started to send Bana Vrishti. Okay. It rained arrows on Hanuman. That's what it means. Avakirnas tatastabhihi Hanuman Sharavishtibihi Abhavat Samrita Karaha Shalai Shailaradiva Vrishtibihi. So Hanuman, he was completely covered by arrows that were raining from all these Amatya Putraha. And he appeared like the king of mountains at that point of time. which is shot with showers of rain. அதுதான் இங்க உபமானம். இங்க விருஷ்டிபிஹி சம்ருதாகாரः ஷைலராட் இவ. ஷைலராட்னா கிங் ஆஃப் மவுண்டன்ஸ். சஷரான் மோகயாமாச தேஷாமாசுச்சரः கபிः ரதவேகஞ்ச வீராணாம் விசரன் விமலேம்பரே சதைः क्रीडन् धनुष्मद्भिः व्योम्नि वीरः प्रकाशते धनुष्मद्भिर्यथा मेघैः मारुतः प्रभुरम्बरे. So he's trying to do some kind of gymnastics here. Hanuman, he started to move very fast and into the clear sky above him, in such a manner that he rendered the arrows of the giant heroes, Tesham Viranam Sharan Rathavegamcha Moghayamasa. So he rendered futile all those arrows and their speeding chariots. In other words, he was not to be caught within that particular set of whirlpool of arrows. So he escaped from that particular scene and went high up in the sky. And what did he do? Sataihi Kridan Dhanushbihi. So he started to essentially engage all those Rakshasas. And he shone like the powerful wind god. Dhanushbihi yataha meghaihi marataha prabhu ambare. So this is a kind of fight scene up in the sky. Sakritvanidham ghoram trasayam stam mahachamu chakara hanuman vegam te surakshassu viryavane talenabhya hanat kamsyate padbhyam kanchit parantapaha mushtinabhya hanat kanchite nakhai kanchit vyadarayate. So how did Hanuman kill the various Rakshasas is explained here. First of all, he made a terrific sound there. Ninadam Ghoram Trasayanstam Mahachamum. The great army suddenly got terrified. Trasayan. And Chakar Hanuman Vegam Teshu Rakshasu Viryavan. He started to move very quickly among all the hundreds of Rakshasas who were there. So how did he hit the various people? So he hit some of the Rakshasas with his palm, patnu adichar kayala. Sila pera, some with his feet, kalala sila pera vadachirkar, and some with his fist. And then he pierced some of the Rakshasas with his nails. So this is the graphic description of how Hanuman is facing the various Rakshasas. Pramamatho rasa kamsite urubhyam aparan kapihi kechit tasya ninadena tatreva patita bhuvi tatasteshvas avasamneshu bhumo nipatiteshu cha tat sainyam agamat sarvam disho dasha bhayarditam. So Hanuman strangled some of the Rakshasas' necks, some of them their chests, and some of them he simply tore them apart by holding their thighs. And some of them actually fell down dead simply by listening to the ghosham there, hearing the roaring noise of Hanuman. That was good enough for some of the Rakshasas to fall down dead. That's what it says. And they were all struck with fear there. Sarvam Sainyam Bhayarditam. And they started to run helter-skelter. And all the 7 sons of the Amatyas, they can all now be pronounced dead. You can call the coroner now. That's what was the status. And their army, it started to flee in all the 10 directions. As you can normally see, the moment the leaders or the majors who are fighting the battle, the moment they are killed, all others who are subordinate to them, they cannot continue there. They will lack leadership direction. So they ran helter-skelter. Vinedur Viswaram Naga Vipetur Bhuvivajinaha Bhagna Nida Dhvajacchatraihi Bhuschakirna Bhavadratehi Sravata Rudhirenatha Sravantyo Darshitaha Pathi Vividhaischa Swarair Lanka Nanada Vikritam Tada. So imagine there were a variety of animals that were used there. That is horses, elephants, and so on. They all started to make various kinds of horrifying cries at that point of time. They also, many of them fell dead, all these animals. And a stream of blood started to flow down at that particular place. Rudhirena Pathi Sravantyaha. So you can think of this as a horrific battlefield that Hanuman is started to successfully roll forward. Satan pravardhan vinihatya rakshasan mahabalas panakramah kapihi yutsuranyai punareva rakshasaihi tadaiva viro bhijagama toranam. So having killed all the Rakshasas there, and he's a Chanda Parakramaha. He's a fierceful warrior, Hanuman. Saha kapihi pravriddhana tan Rakshasan. Uh, there were many Rakshasas who were actually old and experienced. Many of them were killed at that point of time. Rakshasahi Yutsuhu Punarevatam Toranameva Abhijagama. He went back to the same archway. And the Toranata Udamatengra. Yeah, there's a reason why he doesn't want to leave there. Ityarshe Srimad Ramayane Valmiki Kavye Chaturvimshasyasyagayam Samhitayam Sundara Kande Amatya Putra Madho Nama Panchachatvarimshas Sarkaha. So the next sargam is Shat Chatvarimsaha Senapati Panchaka Vadhaha. So I just have 3 more minutes left. I'm in 2 minds whether to continue, but maybe I'll just introduce the sargam. Atan mantri sutan buddhva vanarena mahatmana ravana samritakaraha chakaramati muttamam savirupakshayupakshau durtharam chaivarakshasam praghasam bhasakarnancha panchasenagranayakane. So what Rakshasa Raja Ravana decided, he understood that all the Mantri Sutaha, the children of the great Amatyas or Mantris are no more. So he came back to senses. And what did he do? Ravana Hatan Buddha Samrita Karaha Uttamam Matim Chakara. He tried to formulate a new plan which probably is going to work. He kind of hid his agony. Ravana did not show his agony to the others. So one of the very important characteristics of a leader is when he is facing defeat, he should not show that he is losing ground, because he still has a very huge army left with him, but his confidence is slowly getting shattered. So Ravana, basically now makes a decision that let me send others in my retinue, who are all the Virupaksha, Yupakshav, அப்புறம் Durdhara, Praghasa, Bhasakarna. These are all great warriors who are there with him. And Ravana instructed that, okay, now it's time for my next set of leaders in my army to go and face Hanuman. Okay. So I think with this we'll conclude our session here today, unless there is any thoughts or questions. So reading these sargams, basically, in some sense, it may look like Hanuman is in a spree to kill the various Rakshasas. We can think of this as with the right invocation of the pranic force which Hanuman represents. There are various types of asuras who will attack us at many points of time. They could be external as well as internal. So it helps us to prepare for such battles in our life. Okay.
आभुजान्तश्रीचक्रकुण्डलधरं कुटिलकुन्तलं शिशुं मन्दस्मितरुचिकराधरपुटं पूर्णिमैक्ष्यान्वितं मुखम् शरस्योर्ध्वगतिं मुद्रया विदिशन् सव्येन प्रणवं धनुम् मध्ये सुस्थितमुग्धश्यामलमहं श्रीरामं भजे मोहनम् गुरुचरणाम्बुज निर्भरभक्तः गुरुचरणाम्बुज निर्भरभक्तः संसारान्तचिरभव मुक्तः गुरुचरणाम्बुज कृष्णा कृष्णा सेन्द्रियमानस नियमदेवं रक्षसि निज हृदयस्थं देवं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते
कायेन वाचा मनसा इन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्या आत्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमीद्यत् सकलं परस्मै श्रीमन्नारायणायेति समर्पयामि सर्वं श्रीरामचन्द्रार्पणमस्तु. Have a great day and a week ahead. Thank you.